going.
And
Yeah.
5, 4.
Okay. If you have ever witnessed a hit-and-run accident that made you hungry for Chinese food, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Meet Your Monsters. My name is Abram Macon. I'm here with
Kathleen?
Colby.
Matt.
and our special guest, returning champion, who's probably just a regular.
Regular.
Ken Jennings, thank you. Sarah.
For you at home, Meet Your Monsters is a podcast in which I show my friends horror movies that I love, and we find out if they can overcome their bitch-ass fear and love this movie too, or if they just think my taste in movie sucks. How is everybody doing? Tell me your Comic-Con stories.
Oh man, you really put me on the spot.
Okay, you can go last for
I
me.
met a fake Blade.
You met Fake Blade?
Fake
That's
Blade.
cool. Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if he was Shaft or Blade, but I'm calling him Blade.
He had a big sword
I know.
in the back of his coat. It was definitely Blade.
Okay. I was afraid to, comment to him about it.
Hey,
Like,
you.
hey, you.
I met the Friends of Humanity. Those assholes that don't like mutants.
Oh,
That's
What?
how
with
I
the
met
signs?
them.
Oh.
They had a sign that said, God made Adam and Eve, not Scott and Jean.
That's pretty
Because
clever.
they're dead to me.
That's
I'm
very
going
good.
to bomb their headquarters later.
What I love about that is that there's people who they know that people are going to go dressed up like X-Men and stuff like that. So they're like, we should go as the assholes that hate those assholes.
They had
That's funny.
pamphlets and
Wow.
crappy flyers. It was great.
Yeah. That's some
They were all
attention
dressed
to
like
detail.
80s thugs. It was really good.
Yeah, I got to meet one of my favorite artists, Humberto Ramos.
Wait, not me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Humberto, did he talk to you?
He said yes and no.
Okay,
And
good.
thank you. Other than that.
Okay, good. Because I got my feelings hurt. And him goes, oh, I don't think he speaks English. I'm like, oh, thank God.
I was
But
like,
it's so
that guy
weird
hates
because he's
you.
been drawing American comics since like 1997.
Yeah.
He should be
Good for
at
him.
least semi-fluent.
You just
You can
whistle
say,
at
like,
you and it's like,
pow.
Mamacita.
Hey.
I can't say anything because I can't speak any other language. So,
True.
yeah. And he's a fantastic artist.
Yeah, he's
Stuff is
amazing.
amazing.
Abe lost his shit over Ryan Otley.
I did meet Ryan Otley.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Did you get high pitched and breaky in your voice?
I'm sure I
A
went.
little bit.
Yeah. And I met Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him
I
from
saw
afar.
his
He's a
face.
hero here at Meet Your Monsters.
He
Yeah.
liked your art of him, right?
Well, he didn't say he liked it. He just said he hadn't seen many of them.
Hey.
And since
Should've-
I had only been
For
selling
the
them for 3
listeners
days,
who don't
that's
know what we're
weird.
talking about, Abe painted a picture from Evil Dead 2.
It was amazing.
You
But
can
And
see
then-
it on the Ugly Tree Facebook page.
And then he didn't tell him that he drew it. Why would you not do that, Abe?
I was more concerned
Bruce
about.
Campbell would have sued him.
where's my
Yeah,
money?
his lawyer was waiting
you
right
owe me
in
10%.
It's like they had like a net he threw down.
No, I was more concerned. I had to find out what happened with Bubba Nosferatu. So
What do you think?
he said that the original script sucked, and they were writing a new one, and he would do the movie if it was good.
Oh, good.
He was a super cool guy, and he unlocked the key of magical Hollywood celebrities to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a look; it was a subtlety, but in it, I
It
saw
was
the
a
future
feeling.
in my heart.
Yeah. And I was running around taking pictures with all the people in costume, and there was a handicapped Joker guy. He had kind of a messed up walk, physically handicapped, and I was like, hey, we gotta make this guy feel better about himself. And so I went up.
Or
Yeah,
would he make
picture.
you feel better about yourself? Because he was dressed up pretty rad.
He did have a sweet Joker
He
costume.
did have
Yeah.
a real good Joker costume. And he even had like a dialogue because I was wearing my Batman shirt. And he had like a little Joker dialogue for me. But I wanted the picture to make him look like he was punching me in the stomach. And this handicapped kid really punched me in the stomach. And then the lock screen came up on my phone, so I had to take a second picture with him. And again, he punched me in the stomach. And I was walking around like hunched over like Igor the rest of the...
He's a method actor when it comes to his cosplay.
Alright.
Cripple kid blasted me.
He jacked your ass pretty good. Okay, so this week's movie was the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th, written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, and directed by Marcus Nispel. I think that's how you say that. Now, the synopsis that I was reading was really crappy, and it was just sort of like, some people go camping and they fall victim to Jason Voorhees. That's fine by me.
That's
we'll
kind of
we'll go.
assumed when you watch a
Yeah.
Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, and the reason we picked Friday the 13th, or I picked it, is because this is our 13th podcast.
Yeah.
Yay.
How sweet is that? Yay. And it'll probably be up online in about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But that's okay because now we've got a
It's a week.
nice system where they're coming out once a week, and we have
backlog.
plenty. If we should skip a week. Why don't we go through the sinister synopsis with our good pal Matt here?
Sure. All right, so we start off with the first group of kids. There's like, what, 4 or 5 of them in the group?
Oh, you just skipped right over the mother scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do us a nice flashback where they show Pamela Voorhees get her head chopped off.
Yes. Okay, so we flash back to that, and it shows the camp, like, hot young camp counselor slicing Jason's mom head off. And and he witnesses that, and he doesn't take it too well.
I think
he holds a grudge for quite a long time.
Yeah. You know, I think that whoever hires these camp counselors also like books the hustler pinups because they're
With
all
incredible
super
arm
hot.
strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, like, have you been to a pool recently? Like, I really feel like the lifeguards don't even know how to swim. They're just like, look at those knockers. You're hired.
She comes with flotation devices.
Yeah.
Buzzer.
All right, so after that flashback, we meet the group of kids, and there's like 5 of them, and they're going out camping because they're trying to find this pot field that they heard about somehow.
Secondhand from a gas station or something, you
Yeah.
said?
Well, I guess 2 of them, that was their main goal. The rest of them were there to camp. So one guy, he breaks off from the group. He finds the pot field. and
He's peeing on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't do that. Yeah, he gets his ear sliced off. And part of
Was
his
it
face.
death by ear slicing off?
It looked like he
like
chopped him in the
was a
face,
weird cut.
and yeah, it just kind of ricocheted, took his ear off, sort of deal.
Man,
Yeah.
that'd be so funny if like Jason started dipping into the pot crops, and he's just like this lovely old stoner.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Like,
assuming
if they just
paranoid.
legalize it, man.
I was assuming he's just running the whole pot thing.
The next movie, he'll just like pull up and start eating s'mores with him.
You guys like to party?
What do you have to do?
Yeah.
He just wants to like catch them, then talk to them about like the mysteries of the cosmos.
Yeah.
I realize like money is more lucrative than killing all these people. I was like,
Let me tell you
"Oh,
about this dream I had.
yeah." But remember that lady from Orange is the New Black? She kills bitches that come under her pot farm, you know?
Yeah.
You don't mess with us.
Well, that's what I thought when I first saw this. I didn't think they were going to reveal Jason so early. I thought it was just going to be like
Yeah,
a pot
right.
crop worker defending the field.
Oh yeah, it went pretty quickly. Like you said.
Maybe it was. We don't know. They didn't mention that. It could have been. That's why he had the machete.
It was a goddamn resurrected supernatural killer,
Get it right.
Get him hurt.
not some hippie with a shotgun.
So after that guy dies, the other campers die quickly in succession in awesome ways. One girl's like roasted inside of a sleeping bag.
Whoa.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Other guy gets bear trapped in the leg.
And forced to watch
You
the
know what
show.
I
Did
wonder?
you guys think that was gonna come off? I thought his leg
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
freeze.
It looked pretty
I kind of
gnarly.
Attached.
wish it would have. I wonder though if like Jason, when he catches them in the trap, like off camera you don't see it, but he's like, yes.
Yeah. Can you believe I was burning her and he walked right to the
Right
spot?
Like after it's all done with, he's like, oh.
That was pretty sweet. Well, do you guys remember the one Jason? I don't remember which one it is, but he takes the. Was it Jason X where he has the girl in the sleeping bag and just bash her?
Oh
against
yeah, in the
tree?
little hologram room.
That's
Yeah.
like my favorite death I think ever.
Yeah,
That
because
was
they're
an
still like
awesome one.
giggling.
Abe and I once tried that when we worked at a grocery
They were
store.
so upset, those girls.
No, but we had these pumpkins. Remember that? And we put them in those trash bags, and we tried smashing them that way, and they're really, really hard pumpkins. So I just like spun around and hit it really hard, and then like the aftershock made me fall down.
Yeah, we had these 100-pound pumpkins.
They were called fairy tale pumpkins because they looked like
Yeah.
like a Cinderella or something.
And the
And
bag,
they were hard as shit. Man.
Yeah,
the bag wasn't splitting when you were lifting that up. 100-pound pumpkin.
it was rough, man.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
And one time, Abe went up on top of the freezer and threw one off, and it didn't even break. It just like cracked up the
Yeah.
side.
There were
Indestructible pumpkins.
we had some pretty good pumpkin smashing.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah,
Alright.
Okay, continue
those
that.
were the
Hour. So yeah, they all die, and so we get a group of fresh-faced new kids, and they're vacationing at some douchebag's cabin.
And the
tool
actor
shed was
who
like a-
played the douchebag, his last name was Van Winkle.
He is
which
horrible.
I always think of course, Rip Van Winkle and then Robert Van Winkle, who was Vanilla Ice.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
old guy or douchebag in the blood, I think.
He's a
Yeah.
horrible person.
Yeah. I'm sure
The
there's
actor and the character, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's some cool Van Winkles out there. But
I don't know. I think anytime there's a Winkle in your name, you got to be douchebag because those
What about-
Facebook guys.
what about
Yeah, that's
Henry
what I think.
Winkler?
Oh no, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's
Oh, I've made a
yeah.
huge mistake.
Yeah, that's okay.
Good reference, man.
Alright, Joe.
How about any Van? Yeah, the Fonz is okay in our book.
Oh, before they get to the cabin, they go to this gas station where they meet up with this one guy who's looking for his lost sister. Oh, I guess, yeah, she made it out of there alive because she resembled Jason's mom.
Well, she was taken.
Yeah.
she was
Kidnapped.
kidnapped, and we find out later
and
she's.
Liam Nielsen didn't show up, so
I
she
was-
just fucking stayed there.
I was impressed. All the in this one, all the nods to the old movies. Like he even had like the burlap sack on his head, like in part 2. And then in that one, because that was part 2 as well, where he took that chick and like she pretended like, and she found his mom's head, and she pretended like she was Jason's mom.
Yeah, there was a lot. Whoever, obviously, Damien Shannon and Mark Swift here, who wrote this, had actually seen the Friday the 13th movies. And a lot of people would see if in part 3, it was the same story. A boy was looking for his missing sister.
Yeah.
So they took the scene from part 1 with the mom, the scene from part 2 with the burlap sack where we finally, show his face. He didn't get the hockey mask until part 3.
Yeah.
So that was where they took off. But when you're going to throw a Friday the 13th remake out there, if it doesn't have Jason in it, you're going to have a lot of pissed off fans.
Clearly, the people that made the Nightmare on Elm Street remake did not watch Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
I don't know what the fuck they were doing in that movie. I can be the critical critique for that one because
Yeah.
I have a laundry list of complaints about that fucking one.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
save that one for another day.
Yeah. The hell we will.
Well, we won't do it on this.
I refuse to do it. Yeah, so they meet up at the gas station, and the guy from Supernatural is looking for his missing sister.
Instead of his dad, he's looking for his sister.
He seems to turn up a lot in old remakes of old movies. He's in House of Wax too.
Oh my gosh, he was. That movie was horrible.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I remember he was so mad they were like playing with his stuff.
There's another critical critique.
No, we're talking
Did you like House of
about.
Wax?
Nobody liked House of Wax. Except for Nicole Richie, because I heard once that she had a party and just played the scene where Paris Hilton got killed on loop over and over all night. Water.
Are they not friends anymore?
No.
Oh,
Where have you been?
not caring.
Jared Padalecki? Is that how you say it?
Padalecki.
In my notes, I wrote starring Jared.
Yeah.
Jared.
The sandwich guy?
Love him.
Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he takes off on his motorcycle. The group's kind of split up for that a little bit because he takes off on his motorcycle to find his sister, and we get some backstory with him because he's already been looking for his sister, and the cops aren't really helping at this point. They think she's dead.
Because nobody wants to go in the woods.
Yeah.
The locals seem to know, but they went to that. He went to that lady's house, and she said he just wants to be left alone. They had the obligatory harbinger scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cut to a completely different setting where we see some redneck pot farmer fucking around in his garage with a wood chipper.
Yeah, and he
And a mannequin.
he definitely
Yeah.
definitely had my favorite quote of the movie, which we'll get to at the end. But
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't really like that's how he found his hockey mask was in that guy's garage.
It seemed
It seemed a little bit forced,
should be more
but I don't
Yeah.
I don't even know how he found his mask in the original movie, so I can't really say anything.
I know that, or I can't say I know. I was watching a documentary about Friday the 13th, and they said that one of the cast actually just had a hockey mask in their car and threw it on him. And when everybody went, cool.
They should
But
do
I
next-
don't-
like in the next movie, he finds like a different mask, like a cat mask, and puts that one on. And every time he finds a new mask, he puts it on.
I know when there was a, I forget if it was, God, there's so many. What is this, because there, Jason 10, Freddy vs. Jason, so this must have been the 11th Friday the 13th movie, or movie with that character. So they all kind of run together. I know at one point, I want to say it was part 5, there was actually a fake Jason, and he had a different color on his hockey mask.
that's
He had a
right, yeah.
blue,
Huh.
because Jason always has like a red Sometimes it's like a triangle.
Yeah, I remember
and
that
then the
one.
fake Jason had a blue one.
Yeah, and it was like some dude that dressed up like Jason.
Yeah,
But it wasn't really him. Yeah.
So was Jason not in that movie at all then?
He was not.
Oh, that's
It's
kind
like-
of original. I'm kind of
the-
glad they mixed it
Yeah.
up.
There was still, everyone thought it was Jason. It was a killer, but it was an imposter. It was a crazy person who was carrying on the legend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
that would make sense.
And
That's
he had
a-
some really great death scenes in that movie. That was a good one.
Who do you think would win in a battle of hockey masks? Jason Voorhees or Casey Jones?
Oh.
Wayne Gretzky.
Casey Jones would have the
Gretzky didn't wear a
spirit, but
mask,
Jason would kill
Kathleen.
him.
Yeah.
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 Jason
Casey-
would.
I mean, Jason
put up with this.
literally can't be killed,
Yeah.
even when blown to bits. So
What if he had the turtles to help him? Master Splinter too.
the same thing. I mean, they could ninja his
They're-
ass all day,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, he's just gonna reform and keep killing.
Yeah.
So
True.
You guys are wrong. Ninja
I want to say Casey Jones and Ninja Turtles, but it's just not gonna
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
well, I
I'd
think
like it.
and they get to
but-
use one mouser.
What's a
Also,
mouser?
A cat? What?
there's
What's
these
a
robot.
yeah, the
Robots that
and
They hunt
Ninja
Splinter.
Turtles.
Yeah.
Oh.
You goddamn Ninja Turtle
Yeah.
rookie.
I know, but
Sorry.
is this in the new cartoon? Or is this
No, that's from the original
Oh.
comic book. They had mousers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, so what happened again?
Please forgive me.
So
And in this, when they're looking for his sister too, I thought it was fun. They were looking in that old abandoned cabin, like for her. I thought if she were in there, wouldn't she have just walked home? If she were in that old abandoned cabin,
she could have been chained in there too.
yeah, I guess I was looking for her chained up. But
Wait, what now?
when they were like looking for her sister, and they're like looking through that cabin, like is she in here?
She was underground.
Yeah, but I mean, if she would have been in there, like why would they bother looking there?
Well, they didn't know it.
Like if she were in that
That's
cabin,
psycho
why wouldn't she just be
killing
like, oh,
They didn't know she wasn't in there.
Maybe her dead body was
I think they were just looking around.
Do you know how to search for things, Colby?
Probably like,
So you get how it
it's
works.
highly unlikely.
like I'm just saying, like if you're looking for a person, and they're like, oh, they might be in this house. Well, if they're in the house, why wouldn't they just walk home?
Maybe they got their legs chopped off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
Maybe.
Sprinding.
Maybe she had the runs.
She had to do all of
And
it.
she couldn't leave the house for fear that she might
She
shit
had a
herself.
She's like,
diaper
oh, I
ball
can't
out,
even
like,
walk.
She just in the toilet sweating.
She's like,
oh, I'm
"Ugh."
glad you guys are here.
I really need to. I'm so dehydrated.
They're abysmal.
The fucking tacos again.
I think Jason hasn't eaten food that's not spoiled.
Yeah. Instead of toilet paper, all he's got is sandpaper
Oh,
and grip tape. Grip tape for the canoe paddles.
Yeah, so we flash back to the kids at the cabin, and they're doing sexy young people things like boating and drinking.
And
Is
sex.
that what sexy young people do? That
That's
sounds
what I
great.
feel.
I was a very unsexy young person.
You're still young people.
They've been on a
That's
boat.
why they know so much about Ninja Turtles.
They would all been on a boat. I should have been like lakeside with a t-shirt on. Like,
Well,
you guys want to play cards?
I'm gonna sleep by then. Like, oh god.
I already told you guys my sexy boating story.
That's,
Go
yeah.
on.
Yeah, I was water skiing and I wiped out and the water went up my butt.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. I was like, that was sexy.
Did I do it right?
I had never skied before. It was a rift.
You know, I think that. Like,
But if that's what the young people
like
are
the
into,
anus relaxed like position is clenched. So like, what were you doing in that moment? You're like,
No,
No,
dude,
you
it
just
was-
lose
the
it.
water probably just pried
It's
it
just
open.
so much.
that's exactly
water.
what okay, let me paint the picture
so
for you.
fast.
Let me paint the picture for you. The first few
Let's
times,
use
Go into too much detail.
if you've
no,
never,
we
no, I
have
won't, I
this
won't.
for medicine here.
If you've never been water skiing, okay, what you want to do is you're laying
You're
back
like,
in the
relax your
water.
butthole.
You lay back in the water with your skis up, and you have to keep your body very rigid.
Yeah.
And so when this thing pulls you, it pulls you up, right? And as you're pulling along, I mean, when you wipe out, you'll go flying any old direction.
Yeah.
Well, this time something happened. My feet came out from under me, and
you
so I
just
landed
sat
with
on
legs
water.
apart, straight in the water, and it was just like water shooting up my ass. And then I floating there feeling so sad. And they're like, ready to go again? I'm like, no. No, I'm not.
Well,
Yeah.
is that why, like, when they tell you like if you have diarrhea, don't go in the public pool? You see that?
I think it's just so you don't poop and
So you don't shit in the water.
I've never seen a sign like that.
It's disturbing.
I always thought it was implied that you don't.
Is it like a
Who wants to
picture?
go swimming at that point?
Yeah.
Is it like a picture of an ass that's drippy with an X through it?
That reminds me of one time I went to Waterworld and we were going to like, there's 2 wave pools, like it's like one with a bunch of waves and one giant wave.
Uh-huh.
We're waiting to go on that and the guy's like, oh, it's closed. We're like, what are you talking about? It's like 3 in the afternoon. Why is it closed? He goes, well, we had a code brown. It's not like you imagine like big wave coming up and just like right at the crest of it. There's like a little brown turd.
Oh, you're just a candy bar. Never mind.
Anyways, back to the sinister synopsis.
Yeah. Remember?
For some reason, I got a million like shit and water stories, but yeah, let's go back
my
to our.
We'll say-
Don't worry, there's
we'll
plenty
make
more
that-
podcasts.
We'll make that
We'll
the
have
new
time.
segment, like Abe shit story.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guy from Veronica Mars and his girlfriend are water skiing out on the boat.
Wait, which guy from Veronica Mars?
The long blonde haired guy, the one.
The guy with the fuck Christmas shirt on?
Yeah.
Which, why?
Yeah, I love Christmas.
Christmas is wonderful.
Oh, that was that Veronica Mars dude.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
And Willa Ford.
We used to be friends.
Oh yeah,
I
Willa
wanna be
Ford was the
bad.
water skier.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys were talking about Willa Ford, and I appreciated that she was naked for half the thing. Who was she? A pop
Yeah,
star?
who the hell is
She's singing.
Here goes the trivia.
Well, no,
We'll
we'll
save
save
it.
it. If that's coming up, we'll save it.
I
Yeah.
don't have much on her. Just
Well, we'll save it because
There's not much about her. Though.
I didn't know that was part of the thing.
Yeah, so he gets arrowed through the skull, dies, obviously.
Yeah.
So this
Jason
boat's
is a good
running.
shot.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he shot him from the shore,
Moving
like a
too,
moving
yeah.
target.
I gotta say, Jason Voorhees, at least in this one, he's like the Dr. J of serial killers. Like, yeah, you could just take a short shot and get the 2 points. But he's like, fuck that, I gotta do a little style with this one. I'm gonna pluck her up by her head with a machete and...
And it had something else too, which I always look for in movies, especially action and horror movies, is accidents. Because nothing ever goes as planned.
Yeah.
And what was great about this scene was, first of all, he makes this incredible shot where he shoots this dude in a moving speedboat in the head with an arrow, and then the guy falls onto the lever and it just floors the boat and runs that bitch over.
Yeah, she gets.
Patunk!
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
she
so
lived for a little bit, and she was able to hide out under the dock for a little
Yeah.
bit, and then she got shanked in the skull,
Yeah.
which is sad. I mean, she survived a propeller to her head.
Yeah. Or at least a big chunk of boat to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, we cut back to Jason's lair, because he's bringing the body of the chick he just stabbed in the head there. And we see that one of the campers from the previous crew survived, and it's the guy's sister.
Ooh, the missing sister.
Mm-hmm.
His quest is not in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still alive.
And apparently, she's like a locksmith in a past life because she picks a lock on her chains.
With the part of the GPS. Like,
Yeah.
good for her.
Yeah. It was weird that
Yeah,
she
it's
knew that
out
was in
there.
there. So she escapes for a little while, and then we don't see her for quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we go back to the other sexy kids.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of movies have like the token black guy or the token Asian guy. This one
This
had
had both.
I'm like, can't these guys ever get a starring role? I mean,
Well, and they played around with like,
White audiences will never
I'm not the
identify
token
with-
black guy. I'm not the token. But then they totally were. Like,
Yeah.
you acknowledged it, but you didn't really do anything about
they
it.
didn't
Yeah.
break it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of ethnic friends growing up, and they all just seemed like they would be too cautious.
You
It's
did
like
in
if-
Fort Collins?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the only ethnic.
It's
people I
like
was friends
on
with.
a scary movie. White folks die. I'm gonna fuck
That's
out of here.
well, it's not even that. They'd just be like, I don't know if I want to go to the woods. There's been a bunch of murders there. I just don't want to go. You know. So I think if you had like an all like
They're
Asian
smart.
cast, this movie really boring. So you'd be like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna go on the boat because I just don't trust this area. And then they'd all just go home.
Yeah.
Really, they'd probably all just go stay at like a Motel 6.
And then that'd be fine.
get
Outside
drunk,
of Jason's pot farm. That'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Unless it was Jason Takes Manhattan, because anyone's fucking
Oh,
Manhattan.
Yeah.
He tries to make it in the big city as a journalist.
The greatest part about Jason Takes Manhattan is
That
that
scene when he goes to like Times Square and he's just spinning around. Like,
Because everybody feels like that there. You know, overwhelmed.
that happened. It was pretty cool. But
I need to see this.
but what I'm talking
Did that
about
really happen?
That really happened.
The
Yeah,
only scene I
he's like
remember-
standing at the big time.
The only scene I remember from Jason Takes Manhattan is where the guy just keeps punching him and his knuckles get all bloody and just keeps on punching him. That's the only scene I
Then he
remember.
punches his head off.
Can't stop,
Yeah.
won't stop.
But the thing that is so amazing about Jason Take Manhattan is that he gets there by boat from Crystal Lake.
Does he just,
What state is Crystal Lake in?
which is landlocked.
Yeah, it's a lake. And when they asked the people that made the movie, like, what's about this? They're like,
I'm sure there's a river that runs into
Yeah,
it
right?
that goes all the way to Manhattan,
yeah.
the
So,
Bay Area.
Crystal Lake to Manhattan by
Yeah.
boat. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, so we go back to the kids in the cabin. The Asian guy goes outside to get something out of the shed.
Because he broke his vintage heirloom.
Oh, yeah, chair.
An odd yeah.
Yeah.
Chair is an odd heirloom.
This is a weird thing that I first learned the word heirloom from the Destro action figure from G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there
You
because
learned
every
a lot
time,
from G.I. Joe.
because his mask is a family heirloom, the silver plate. But every time I remember looking at that word on the file card, going, "What the fuck is this thing?" And I showed my mom, and she said it means it's from his family's line. And I went,
Is
"Oh,
he
I
ever
see."
going to have anybody to pass it down to?
If the Baroness would give it up, Destro would
I
totally
don't think she did. Girls with glasses don't.
set the rule.
Catalina just hers.
Oh, my lady.
I'm sorry I went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, so he goes out to the shed for some supplies. He
Tools.
gets tools.
Fix it.
Alright. Supplies, tools.
He wanted something from the shed.
He needed to go in the shed, and he went there.
He got sidetracked by sports equipment.
Well, yeah, they keep
Yeah.
booze in their shed too. They have booze
Yeah.
Oh
everywhere.
yeah,
That's
there's a
pretty
nice
sweet.
vintage in there, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
the first thing I
nice.
do when I go over to guest or host's house. I drink.
Like,
over
he was
the
high
cold.
Oh
and
yeah,
drunk at that
because
point. I'd been like,
he was
cool.
an asshole host. Don't
Yeah.
touch my oak floors. Whatever.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
haircut was horrible too. I hate that haircut. Don't any
Looks
of you
so
grow your
90s.
hair.
Yeah. So he gets jabbed through the throat with a screwdriver,
That would hurt.
and that's
So.
the end of him.
Could you die from that like that quickly though?
I
I'm
think
not saying it
so.
would feel good, but
I would.
I think he probably drowned
I'm
in
not,
his own
like,
blood.
a doctor or
okay.
You got a
anything.
lot of major arteries in your
Okay.
neck.
No, not right here though.
But still, like if it went up
You
into his brain and
drowns
stuff,
again.
there's plenty of ways I think that could kill you.
Anyways, back to Sinister
So many questions.
So nobody really notices that he dies for quite a while because we cut back to the one Dick rich kid and his slutty girlfriend having sexy time.
And the black guy trying to whack it in a living room.
she's like an
Weird.
LLB cowboy.
Yeah,
like
LLB
it goes
cowboy.
into,
And
and
I'm
that's
like,
the joke.
she
I'm
was
like, your
in-
friend could walk in at any moment.
Yeah, couldn't he went to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Just-
Go to a different room.
Have you seen those catalogs?
They're sexy.
Hard to wait.
Did anybody else think the couple was gonna die having sex?
No.
I
I
thought
kind
they
of wish
would.
they would have.
Yeah.
When I
Heart
first saw
attack.
I thought he would maybe have a heart attack because of her perfect boobs or
Yes.
something.
Stupendous.
Stupendous boobs.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that scene in Jason Goes to Hell really stuck out. I think it was Jason Goes to Hell really stuck out with me as a kid when they were doing it in the tent and he takes that like signpost and just goes like through the tent through both of them.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, really stuck with me as a kid.
Was it Freddy vs. Jason's where the bed flops up? She's taking a shower after they did it, and the guy's like laying there. And doesn't he like bend the bed
That's
out
happened.
backwards?
That's happened a couple of times.
Has
I
it?
think that was in one of the earlier ones.
Oh, so it's like
But-
an homage.
Yeah, it might have been. But man, like I
That's
said,
great.
after 11 or 12 movies or whatever, they kind of run together in my brain. Okay, so the guy was beating it.
Yeah, and he gets interrupted because Supernatural guy and
Girl,
his
flippy hair.
little tag-along girl. I don't remember her name. Do
Her
women
name-
have names in
Her
Jason
name was-
movies?
I think
Her
her
name
name's
was
Bangs.
Jenna.
Jenna.
Jenna, what's her name? Played by Danielle Panabaker.
Virginal McGee.
Yeah. And they witnessed Jason haul around dead bodies, so they know shit's about to get real. So they book it back to the cabin. They bust in, tell them they got to call the cops. They manage to get their one phone call out, but the cops don't show up for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Get the fuck out of my house!
Yeah.
Why are you in my house?"
And then how do they realize that their Asian friend has died? Do they just?
Well,
The black guy
The
goes.
black
out
guy
to
goes
get
and
him.
rescues his friend.
Tries
That's my
rescue.
homie.
Yeah.
well, how did he know he needed
well, they
rescued,
tell
though?
him that there's a
There's
killer
killer
out there,
out.
and he goes to get his friends so
Which
that
is
he
very
doesn't get killed.
noble.
Yeah.
I feel like, no one else is looking out for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
then later,
I have
no.
other friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes out there to look for his friend, and he gets axed in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one goes and helps him.
Nobody.
No.
They've learned their lesson not to go out and help
Yeah.
people.
But none of them have to help people. Like,
Which,
yeah.
you know, and I was saying about that, like, how smart that is because last time you see Jason, his mom gets killed, he's like 11? So he's got to be like 30 by now. So, like, he probably would just spend a lot of time practicing throwing his axes and shooting his bow and
Setting
arrow.
traps.
They had a whole archery range out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely utilized every...
Woodworking, so he
yeah.
could put that sign Jason above his bed.
Yeah.
Learn spelling.
This is where
Yeah.
I sleep.
He also is a badass sewer and knitter, and he can,
Yeah.
like, build a fire with just, like, pine cones and a twig.
A Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Now, in the original version, when they found his mom's severed head, he had built like a shrine, and it was on here with candles and all kinds of nice things. Like, he had done his best to fix it up. This one, it just kind of looked like he stuffed it in a hole in the wall above a
He's been
bathtub.
really busy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a lot of candles. Though, at
Camping
least.
season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know what he
there's-
was?
Candlelight
He was
vigil.
probably in the middle of building that shrine.
Ah,
so he was
yeah,
storing
He
it.
just needed
yeah.
a place
Yeah.
to keep it, yeah.
Yeah, these kids come along and fuck it up. That's why he's so mad.
That
He killed them all.
mean
Yeah.
girl dropped that severed head in the bathtub.
Oh, that what?
Yeah.
It was all
Ruined.
ruined.
Yeah.
You ruined it, Tigger.
Fun fact about that: the Friday the 13th 2 action figure comes with Jason's mother's severed head. It's part of like the it comes with like a pickaxe, a spear, and
Mom's
her
severed head.
mom's severed head, and you got the choice of heads. You can either do the burlap sack or like the fucked up mutilated mullet head thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun fact.
They even have a Pamela Voorhees action figure.
Really?
Does she have a removable head?
No, but she's got a shade.
That's good.
Really, every action figure has a removable head if you just get.
If you try hard
dedication.
enough, if you can dream.
Yeah, so Jenna and what was
Help me.
Dean?
Jared?
Jared?
He said, Dean.
You can tell I grew up with my mom and
Roger.
sister because I know him from the Gilmore Girls.
Yes, Jared and Jenna.
Jared and
Right.
Jenna, yeah, they witness their black friend's death, and they're like, at this point, they're like, okay, we probably need to stop those guys from fucking, so they'll know shit's going down.
But I should say the actor's name is Jared, the character's name is Clay.
Oh, yeah.
Clay and
Clay.
Jenna. Yeah.
Clay just called.
So they interrupt their fucking.
Oh, yeah, but
No, they didn't interrupt it. They
They
finished.
won't
knocked
let
on
him
the
in.
door.
They're messing with us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what,
he
what
just-
stop-
he
oh yeah,
just-
they just finished.
Yeah.
He just turned up the music and kept on going.
Yeah.
Oh, what a dick.
It's the right move. They're gonna
Yeah.
die anyway, so.
Yeah. And the girl was like videotaping it, so.
Yeah.
Which is weird because she was just videotaping his chests.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
she's not very
like, that's not where the
good
action is.
videographer.
Yeah.
I forgot where.
What the hell did happen? after
Yeah. Well, I
Oh,
just
the
I
cop
just remember.
comes. The cop comes.
Is that
He
before or
drives
after
it.
her like this girl with the perfect tits gets put on that
No.
rack?
Oh.
The cop comes first because they all come running downstairs, and then he gets in that little fight with Jared, who is Clay, and
Slash Dean slash.
yeah, and he's like, "Get out of my house!" And the guy's like, "Hold on, there's a psycho, bro," and that sort of thing.
Not your bro.
And then the cop shows up, and we found out from the deleted scenes that he's actually a
good
due
cop.
diligent kind
Yeah.
of cop.
I really wish they had kept that scene in there.
Yeah, he wants
Yeah.
to do good, man.
It gave him a little bit more credit than just the country bumpkin cop that shows up and gets wasted.
Yeah, can I really like that quote. I want that to be my favorite quote, but it's not in the movie, so I don't know how to.
You can still quote it if it was a deleted scene quote.
All right.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, we're not counting deleted
Yeah.
scene boobies, so
True.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that if you do call me. Just so you know.
There are 100 boobs in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so she gets like impaled on like a wimpy little antler rack with like
yeah,
two
she
prongs.
dies pretty quick too. She's,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah,
Well,
that
she, I
was
don't know. What did she
quality
die,
Was
or
she dead?
because he shot her a whole bunch? The rich
Yeah.
guy got his gun, and then he
Well,
shot.
I mean-
through the door at her because he
Yeah.
thought she
I've
was
never
Jason.
been impaled on antlers before, but I think if I were and I were alive, I'd get back down off of them.
Well, like
Nope.
if you're raised high enough, you can't. There's no
You won't be able
leverage.
to. Yeah, remember that part from Texas Chainsaw last time? Like he couldn't get any leverage to get off it because he's like,
Yeah.
and he like fell back down.
Yeah, I do a lot of pull-ups.
But that's a really like strong hanging nail.
You
for
are
that
back
rack.
from this always sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, so
Put a mask. Put a mask.
if you guys remember way back with our first podcast, which was Slaughter High, the janitor / caretaker got taken out the same way, hung up on like a door hook.
Yeah,
So there's some sturdy door hooks out there.
they're
Yeah.
definitely on a stud.
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, she was probably pretty weak-willed anyways. So she
Yeah,
wasn't gonna survive
she'd probably
it.
given up at that point.
Yeah.
She was awfully tired after all
Yeah,
that
that's
sex.
true.
yeah.
She was thrashing around on there. So.
I just like how when the
She
rich
had more
kid,
oomph.
I just like how when the rich kid opened up the door to see that he had shot his girlfriend, he's like, "Oh,
All clear.
all clear.
No, nobody's in here.
Nothing went horribly wrong."
You know, that scene reminded me of a quote from the movie Heathers when he says, "Dear God, who art in heaven, why'd you kill such hot snatch?"
Oh no.
Did they use snatch back in the 80s? I guess they must.
had to.
Unless I got the
Yeah.
quote wrong. Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
I remember one of the guys used it in Slapshot, and that was made in like 1979. So
Okay.
yeah.
Then
So
what
she
happened?
she was either dead from the hook or he
The
shot her a
flip.
bunch of
Yeah.
times when
Either
he was
way,
going crazy.
that
Either
bitch is
way,
dead.
she's dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the rich kid and his gun like book it into the woods because he breaks away from Clay and Jenna.
Oh no, they try to get in the car, right?
Oh yeah, they try and get in a cop car and they have like
He's
that.
like, ditch this asshole. We're
Yeah.
going. Like, there's like 4 seats. You
Yeah.
jerk. Why wouldn't you just get in with it? Doesn't Jason throw the dead body then?
Yeah,
he
and he
goes,
screams like a little bitch.
Okay, now here's my
I
thinking
wrote down
though.
bitch scream.
Just push her out and drive with the no windshield, but they left the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or just drive through there. Who
Yeah,
cares?
just push her head down.
Any
Yeah.
port in a storm.
Yeah.
So he crashes the cop car, or no, yeah,
They just ran out,
yeah, and he takes off into the woods, and he's eventually caught and sliced up by Jason.
Yeah,
And
because
that
that guy was going to give him a ride.
Yeah.
Instead of
it
going,
didn't work
hey,
out.
get in quickly, the old guy's like, puts his hand down, like, waves all
He's
quickly.
like,
Well,
if
he didn't
Any
know
more
Jason was
creep-
in there. I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, that's
should've
true.
been-
Jason
If-
could drive.
I think if he had-
Jason couldn't drive, though.
I think he knew that if
I
like
hope so.
Jason were chasing this guy, he would be like,
Yeah, right?
"Sorry, bro."
Fuck your
I
shit.
love that part though because he totally killed him and stabbed him and then impaled him on the back of that guy's truck, and then the guy drove off with him on there and he
Yeah.
just watched him go. It
What the fuck
awesome.
was that? Like, what was that for?
I think it was like a tow truck.
Yeah.
But it was all
What the point of
spiked.
this?
I don't know what the
Yeah.
spikes were for.
That's it for towing.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Fucking you in
Yes.
Thailand,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And why did the guy, like, it was just a weird, like, okay, he's old and he has oxygen. Like, what's his backstory? Why is he in the woods? Why is he on Jason's property?
He was returning from a hard day at work.
He's probably
On the
farming that
farm?
pot.
Yeah, there you go.
Or towing somebody. One.
Yeah. But it was a cool scene.
Yeah.
So the only two, well, there's 3 people left because fucking Clay and Jenna go into Jason's lair again and they find his missing sister chained up. They break her chains.
Don't
and
mind her.
yeah, I know. I totally wanted to do that.
Which I think was a reference to Titanic. Remember when Jack breaks Rose's, or no, vice versa.
Yeah, he was handcuffed.
Oh.
Yeah. hmm
Wait, no.
He found his sister and busted her hymen.
Where you can't breathe.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So Sinister
Need
stops.
to take a moment.
Where were we?
uh,
Yes, Jared was playing Titanic with his sister. Clay, I should say, was playing Titanic with his sister.
broke the chains that binded her.
Yeah.
Which, like, do you think you can do that, like, in real life? Do you think you can bust through chains with
pickaxe?
an axe or
Yeah.
anything?
I
Really?
kept thinking he was going to hit her
I don't
hand.
think you
Well,
could
what
do
would
it.
you break him with? Like if you had to break a chain.
Yeah.
Chain cutters.
He's got everything else.
I think
Well,
if you
key.
tried hard enough, you could
There
get
you
it.
go.
I disagree. I think
Your
you would
torch out.
chip your axe. So they're running through the underground layer, and they bust out like to the surface, but Jenna doesn't make it out. She gets impaled, which was
Did
I
not
thought was
see her
really a
coming,
surprise.
Yeah,
she
it
was
was
so
good.
virginal and innocent and
Mhm.
hot.
Yeah, usually the good girl makes it, and she got
Yeah.
Yeah.
it. There was
You
one
can't
thing.
have 2 good girls.
I was gonna say, there's a pretty high, survivor count.
It was either the new girlfriend or the sister. So.
And it was all for her, man.
There was one thing that I thought was interesting that I both liked and disliked. Was in the original, Jason just is kind of always there. Just like bam, he shows up there.
Yeah.
And in this, they kind of explain that because he's got this network of tunnels that he's dug, or
Bells and tripwires.
yeah, and he's got
Helps out.
bells to tell him where people are.
Jason's way smarter than me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
That's not hard though, too.
But, you know,
Read more.
there's a part of me that likes the supernatural element where he's just kind of, poof, he's there and he's
Yeah.
creepy. As to where this kind of explained that away.
Well,
And
he's-
though I liked it, it
Yeah.
was still, you know, took away some of the mystery.
You actually saw him running too.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, he wasn't just slow walking or fast walking the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always have that scene where he busted through the window at the end and grabbed the brother, or the sister. I can't remember which one he grabs. I thought it would be
grabs the
really
brother.
funny if he busted through like the wrong window. Like, oh shit!
Oh, damn it.
Well, I thought it was weird that he didn't make any sound. He just went, ooh. Like, he just made like, okay, they're trying to scream? It seemed like a little in slow-mo, but not really.
Yeah, so they break out of the underground layer via this bus, and they go to, like, the old sawmill where that one hillbilly guy and his mannequin were killed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't that bad?
Yeah. And they think they're home free, and like Colby said, he busted the window and
With the right window,
kinda,
not the wrong window.
Yeah.
yeah,
They have a pretty nice little fight.
yeah. Very clever fight, yeah, because they get the chains around him, and they throw the
Again.
chains into the wood chipper.
Didn't they try to
Mhm.
strangle him or hang him like that in one of the Friday the 13th movies?
He's been hung a few times, yeah.
yeah.
Now this was cool because they have the chain around his neck, they throw it over the rafter, the chain goes into the wood chipper and it spools him up and he's hanging there. And you think, awesome, and then he's like choking, and then all of a sudden it breaks and he falls down, they're fighting again. I'm like, fucking cool, this is
You
good.
know what I liked about it too is like as it's pulling him into the wood chipper, he's still like slashing like fuck him. I'm just gonna try to kill this bitch before
Yeah.
I go out.
They're nowhere near him. He just,
Yeah, he was definitely going for it. And then eventually he gets reeled into that sucker and it
Yeah,
chops a good deal of his head
Just
off.
takes a little bit off the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she stabs him through the heart, so with
Yeah.
a machete.
After she kind of,
Emotionally doing it too.
kind of plays on,
Yeah.
plays on his fragile
Ooh,
emotions though, because she
it's
pulls
true.
like the dead mom card.
Yeah.
Jason. Whatever, man. You could just like rule the Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Just become his mom.
Yeah,
That's
have
true.
him do
Real
your
hitman.
bidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like, no more killing till you do your laundry.
Jason, go to the store and get me an ice cream
Mama's hungry.
I
He
liked you
wouldn't
better
go
at
buy
the
you one. He
silver
would like murder everybody in the grocery store. Like, I didn't mean that.
All it's missing was one ice cream sandwich.
So he dies. I'm making quotation marks with my fingers, and they throw him into the lake because I guess they don't want any evidence that they were chased down by a serial killer.
Yeah, they just want them to be the prime suspects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to jazz
I
things
would have
up.
rubbed my balls on the inside of his mask. If he didn't come back, he'd be like, oh.
That's what I call me.
Seriously, bro?
It smells of
Seriously?
Kobe nuts.
He'd be like, it's the exact same smell as the lake. Mossy.
So they throw him in the lake, and then we all know what's coming because he comes back. He bursts through the dock and grabs his sister and pulls her under, and then it just fades to black.
As Colby pointed
Almost-
out, he had to make sure he swam for the mask.
Yeah.
Back on before he popped out.
It was almost the same ending as the original. Because if you remember, he jumped out of the lake and
That
grabbed the
was
girl in the
pretty
boat.
great, man.
Yeah, that was a great ending.
Yeah, so they did their homework. They watched a lot of Friday the 13th. And they used what they saw, which is fantastic.
I appreciate that.
Unlike a certain Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
And that finally ends the sinister synopsis.
Okay, so, and usually we go about this a little different way, but as I said before, I show you guys these movies that I like, and we see if you like it too. Did you guys like it? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
You really sold it to me, describing it to me, and it didn't live up to your description, so I was a little let down.
Yeah, it was alright.
Because-
Abe's known to talk a big game.
Oh.
Well, when Abe was saying that, he was really, ingenious in how he killed people because he was using his camp skills. I thought they would be more clever deaths involving like more canoes and weird traps and paddles
Compasses.
and
GPS.
badges.
Canteen with only a little bit of water.
Yeah.
I think maybe for me, because Friday the 13th was the first classic, and so everything has just come after it. that it seems like a generic repetition of it, even though it's not. You know what I'm trying? It's a remake of a classic, but I don't know. I've just seen it a lot. It was good. I enjoyed it, but definitely not.
I should say that the original creator, Sean Cunningham, was also a producer on this one. So that kept it pretty good.
Yeah, and I definitely think it hit all the right marks. I've just seen it so many times. So I think if I saw the first Friday the 13th now, I'd be like, you know.
One of the things that's difficult about this type of movie, the slasher movie, and maybe this just says something about me, is I always find myself rooting for the villain. I can I'm never going like, oh, these nice young people should get away. I'm always wanting them to get chopped up, and I think maybe they just don't establish a good enough, rapport for the characters.
I think they do that on purpose.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think Evil
Because
Dead
that is the fun.
was the only time you were like rooting for Ash the whole movie.
Evil Dead is just in a different league.
It really
And
is.
I don't know. When we do Evil Dead, we'll really analyze the hell out of it.
American Werewolf in London too, because you're rooting for that guy. I don't think we can do the Evil Dead because, like, for the critical critique, I don't think that movie has any bad reviews.
Hey,
And I'm
that'd
not
be-
being like sarcastic here. I really don't think. I remember. I think it's got 100% on Rotten.
We'd have to
Tomatoes.
go ask like our friends or something.
You have to go out on the streets and
Yeah,
just
right.
randomly.
What do you
I'm sure there's like a religious website we could go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Even they're like, although it was blasphemous and an abomination, it's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I hope
I
the
would be
Westboro
down
does
with this.
film reviews. That would be amazing to read.
Who?
The Westboro Bats.
Oh my gosh.
But even if one time we'll do Evil Dead and we'll talk about it because that's a special
so
movie.
much
I'll just sit there and cry like a bitch the whole time.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah. Right here, guys. This hand has touched Bruce Campbell's hand.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something
saw
about
that,
masturbation
right?
again.
Yeah.
You shut up, Colby. I'll fucking kill you.
Well, these eyes have seen his face.
I don't ever watch these.
Yeah, I don't ever watch it.
Please, Kathleen, save us from this mess. and hit us with this terrifying trivia.
All right. Well, I read that producer Michael Bay walked out of the movie premiere, stating that the movie featured too much sex.
Michael Bay said
Really?
that?
Yeah.
There's
and
not
I'm
enough
like,
in
what
it.
do you expect
think
from
about
this
that
kind of
though.
movie?
Like, has Michael Bay's movie ever really been? I know they have like sexy women
Well,
dancing in bikinis and shit. But
They're
like,
always PG-13 because he
Yeah.
wants to get all the kids in there.
And he's like, too much sex, not
Did you-
enough Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, not enough Megan Fox butt. Huh. That's weird.
Yeah.
he's really pushing.
Just like,
from,
what kind of movie did you think you were making?
You were
He-
privy to this before the premiere.
Actually, I think his real reason was like not a single fucking explosion. Are you
Yeah,
fucking
are you
kidding me?
kidding me?
I expressly said.
He was stealing all that gas.
I made it very clear. I wanted Jason to be a robot.
They did mention the propane tanks and
They-
stuff
and
like
the-
4 times.
Yeah.
So.
I thought that's what's going on with it.
All right.
Oh, the kerosene.
Derek Mears is the 8th actor to play Jason, and he is my connection to Saved by the Bell this week. Unfortunately, it was Saved by the Bell, the new class, which I have a hard time acknowledging. So I guess that's all I'm going to say about that, so I don't like tear up or become too upset.
He played like Zach's son.
He played a guy named Little Ed, so I'm taking it was probably a big dumb jock. Willa Ford, who we mentioned before, she played Chelsea, the topless water skier. She was a pop star in the early
Yeah.
2000s.
Hold on, let's see if I can play
Make her
your
sound
song.
like a sideshow attraction.
I don't think you
Kinda
can
is.
play it on
Willa
the
the
thing, though.
topless water
Oh,
skier.
that's true.
That's true. Well, her
They'll
biggest
sue
hit
our
was
asses.
"I Want to Be Bad,"
Oh yeah.
featured on
I wanna be bad.
what was that? Undercover Brother. Yeah. So I'm surprised that her singing career didn't really take off after that.
She got Playboy spread though, right?
She did do Playboy. She's been on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, she's still around. Also, when reading her IMDb page, it says that she was the host of The Ultimate Fighter on season 1.
There was
Which,
a host of Ultimate
I
Fighter.
have no recollection of.
No,
Not
I
at
saw
all.
season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, and I have no recollection of
Yeah,
her
I was
whatsoever.
like,
Well, I
I
thought,
can't
like,
remember a
Mike-
single
I know-
woman on any season.
I know Mike Rowe does like the narration, but as far as a host, I thought it was Dana White.
Yeah, well, she's listed as.
Yeah, it's been so long, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember, like, it was awesome. I don't remember her at all.
Yeah, there she is in a shirt.
Yeah. Good for her, though, right now.
Yeah.
Wearing clothes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Has she
also,
done it topless? I
Derek
remember.
Mears has a cat.
What? Oh.
That's his trivia on IMDb.
I got some Colby trivia for you. I have a dog.
Nice. Okay, let's do the Colby count.
Okay. This was a good one. There were 13 boobs.
Symbolism? I think so.
Ooh.
Son of a bitch, I didn't see that. That would be part
If
of
you
the-
tell me there's 13 bodies, I'm just going to run out of here.
12 bodies.
Oh,
Is that including Jason?
13 bodies.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he didn't die. He was alive at the end.
Did that include
He
Pamela
technically
Marquez?
died and then came back. He was dead.
No, that's
He was
not-
dead. They dumped his body in the
Abe,
water.
if you technically die, you don't come back. That's not dead.
Oh,
That's
there's a-
That's
technically
the
alive.
supernatural.
Have you seen a lot of scary movies?
I am sitting in front of a book called
I'm Abe, I
Monsters
can
in the
read.
Movies.
Does it say anything about being technically dead in there?
It's
I'm
all
saying-
about dead people coming back to life.
I'm
That
saying, like-
motherfucker died and came back. If there is an essence to Jason Voorhees, it is that he dies and comes back.
I think you just get stunned.
Same with Michael Myers. They die and they come back.
Did you
Yeah,
count Pamela
Mike Myers doesn't
Marquez?
die.
The mother.
His mom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And
So that was
did
a
the
big
boobs
controversy.
include the hustler boobs? And there was a vagina as well?
No,
And a
I'm not
beaver.
going to count the
There were
vagina.
two beavers?
Two beavers.
I'm not going to count the vagina, but yeah, I counted the boobs.
I
Why
can't
don't you
believe
have
I'm here
vagina?
right now. I just.
We're gonna have to just take the Colby count away from Colby because he is just.
No,
just-
it's got to be like a
yeah.
like.
The Kathleen count. Yay!
Yeah, I'm not
There's
going to
wieners
count
everywhere.
a picture. That's like a copy
I
of
just
a
have a
copy.
paper
like,
wiener
it's
that I
not
hold up on
legal.
the
It's not a legal
Everybody's got
document.
I forgot Willa Ford played Anna Nicole Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
So that's is that the end of it? We got the 13
Yeah.
boobs
How
and
was
the-
the nipple placement on that girl? Would you call it perfect nipple placement?
I couldn't tell you
Was
a
Stu
bad
Hendis?
nipple placement.
No,
Terry,
you have
Terry.
seen some bad
Oh.
nipple placement before.
I'm gonna
Like
say
Under your
Not
ear.
me saying. Yeah, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast and they're talking about like, oh, I just got into puffy nipples. I'm into bare nipples. I don't really care like what the shape or like texture is.
Exposed.
Yeah, that's
Now,
the type of nipples I'm into.
are you talking about like a bear, like the bear animal
Rawr.
with nipples,
I'm not opposed to
Or-
like animal bear nipples.
or like the bear nipples, like
Be
the bearded
Like,
fellow?
Like big gay fellows.
be a bear if you were gay.
Funny story.
You
about
take that back. This is all twink right here.
13 boobs. Where did you get just the one boob? The extra.
The girl had a hand up like this.
Yeah, it cut
Oh.
away. She had one hand over her boob, and then it cut back, and both the boobs were exposed. That's 2 separate boob scenes. That's 3 boobs.
Yeah.
For the same girl, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when it's within, like, a...
If the
10
scene
seconds?
cuts
Cut
away,
away, cut back.
We're gonna need you to
What's
write
the
down
boob?
all the rules and regulations of the Kobe.
No, I don't,
Yeah.
because it's a Colby count.
You're playing this.
goddammit.
You're a loose cannon cop right now with your boob count.
Wild card.
And Abe's the police chief that gets all angry and is trying to do
Yeah.
it.
What is it?
Exactly.
You're off the case,
I'm
Colby.
Riggs.
Your
He's-
mouth's right. Check your ass kick.
I don't know who that chief was. Yeah, I'm Riggs. You're Murtaugh. This is going on here. Abe's too old for this shit.
We're all
but that's the opposite because I want to add the extra boobies. I
Yeah,
say
you're-
more boobies the better. You're the one going,
You just
no,
gotta-
these boobies don't
We
qualify.
Yeah.
don't
trust
count
me.
these boobies.
You gotta
Yeah.
trust me, is all.
I think
Well,
you're
no,
done
penis
right.
Our trust has
renegades.
been misplaced before, though. Your
Yeah.
penis
High
count
five.
is lacking.
Yeah.
We'll make it. How about this? We'll make the matinee penis count. You
we're-
guys can
oh.
count up all the.
We're gonna
penises.
we're gonna have to take a vote. I don't know that you're responsible enough for the boob count because you're not giving the boobs the credit they deserve. You're not tallying up the
Did-
wieners like you're supposed to.
Not tally-
I'm,
the
no, I'm not
tallies.
going to tally the wieners. Like I said, if you guys want to tally the wieners, feel free.
Done.
We'll do it anyways. All right.
I gave you that job because I thought you were pervert enough to handle the task.
I am for women.
I don't know. You're cutting out a boob, 2 boobs, and a vagina.
What
That
2
could be there.
boobs?
In the
No, he
magazine.
included-
No, I
included
counted
that.
the magazine. I just didn't see the vagina. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking
the
about.
vagina's scary. I'm saying
It was like you saw like a little patch of hair. I'm not counting that. All right,
You
like
need to have your eyes checked, sir.
no, I've seen nudie magazines before.
I've seen a vagina.
Yeah,
too.
so I'm not counting that bullshit.
Yeah, for a guy who's so willy nilly with like just nipples,
Yeah.
you sure leave out a lot.
No, I include it. I'm saying it wasn't there.
Boo!
It wasn't there. The legs were together. I'm not counting it. No.
It's to be spreading.
That is final. Yes.
You know it's there.
Like if I just saw like the top of like a guy's pubic hair, I'd be like, "Oh, I saw his dick." No, I didn't. I saw this like
bush.
tippy
But
top
you
of
can
his
feel
crotch.
like you did.
I could, yeah, disgusting.
I should not be happy about it.
All right, let's move on to the critical critique. What do you got for us there, Colby? Try not to mess this one up.
Okay. This is David Edelstein of New York Magazine.
That sounds familiar.
He said,
He's
You-
that one jerk.
"You really have to screw it up to dishonor the memory of a movie as shitty as the original Friday the 13th. Heads should roll."
They did.
Ooh,
Is that it?
That's the whole review. Yeah.
another amazing comedy writer who
Yeah.
Wow.
his talent is wasted on movie
That
reviews.
was like, fuck you. The original Friday the 13th was made like 1978 when
Yeah.
like the only thing they had to go off was like Rosemary's Baby. That was like the only horror movie before that.
And it was so successful that, like I said, I have a hard time adding up the sequels. Plus, I'm not good at math. It was like 11 fucking sequels to this movie that wasn't very good. And if he thought the first movie was shitty, why is he bothering to see the remake?
Although
why is he
when
going to
it
review a
comes to
movie?
wieners, you're pretty
Well,
good
because
at
it's
math.
the
Like, there was clearly 3 wieners in this movie.
I'll take that.
This is gonna break up
There's
the
not a lot of
podcast,
wieners.
man.
You can do it. Just count on your hand.
We're just trying to be fair to the girls.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay.
We
fine,
have
you guys
women
do it.
listeners.
You can't
They want
stunt
to
our
know.
voices. We won't
Yeah.
be heard.
Would Joe Bob Briggs do it?
He just counted the boobs. Yeah. But
What? You
I
But-
rest my case. I rest my
You
case.
gotta grow,
I just
man.
thought you were
It's
more
our own
enlightened.
thing.
You know Joe Bob.
I know, Joe.
I don't know
But
who you
maybe
think you
he
are.
would have. I don't know. Maybe if
I
He hasn't
if
given
there
the
was a movie with a
opportunity.
wiener. in it.
Maybe he didn't watch movies with wieners.
Yeah.
Can we ask him?
Joe Bob was the man's man.
Joe Bob,
They
if
didn't
you're
have a lot of
listening.
wieners in movies back then.
Yeah.
Except for Risky Business for some reason. Or no, it was All the Right Moves
The one with the desk.
with Tom Cruise's wing.
Oh,
What?
oh.
I
Tom
didn't know he
Cruise
showed his
showed
wang
his
in the movie.
How are you guys
Heard it's really
never
short.
seen Tom Cruise's?
It's like-
Yeah.
They had to make it stand on a phone booth. Business section.
They had to walk on a ramp next to him. Oh shit.
It's those little penis shoes.
Okay. Well, there really isn't much to bash on that poor critic because he didn't give us anything to work with.
Well, if you don't like the first
He didn't
one,
like
you're
the movie.
fine.
Why do you even bother to see it if you know you're not gonna like it?
Yeah.
Tropes and themes, man.
Already?
Yeah.
All right. We'll start with themes this time, and this was one theme that Cabin in the Woods did a really great job touching on, and it's kind of like the justification in every horror movie for the kids to die. It's basically in these movies it seems like it's a crime to be young, to not have any responsibilities, and
You do.
act
young
like
people.
a child,
Start thinking
and
about
have
retirement.
sexy free time, and so they have to die. Also, another
That is a damn bummer.
yeah.
Good thing I'm old
I
now.
know we made it though. You punks are on your own.
Do you think like if there's an older guy, like a group of teenagers, and like one 35-year-old guy, and they all went to the same cabin, like Jason would kill the other guys, and they'd see a 35-year-old guy and just like salute him?
Give him the head nod.
Yeah.
So,
I understand,
Give him
sir.
a sup, dog.
We should make a horror movie where a killer just kills old perverts.
There you go. I don't know. Yeah.
Like the young people are good to go, but like if you're
yeah, right.
over like 40 and you're still banging like young
True.
chicks or something, that'd be funny.
All the actors are played by 35-year-olds anyways.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So I guess I'll move on to tropes now. It seems like a really recent horror movie trope is that they like to include pot now in all the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Which, I mean, that's how they keep
No.
hip and in touch with the kids.
Back then, there was a lot of pot.
Because there's
stuff
Freddy
back
versus
then, too.
Jason, there's Cabin in the Woods, there's
True.
There was
countless
there
others.
was pot in Poltergeist. Remember the mom and the dad were getting high in Poltergeist?
Really? As
Were they?
far back as Poltergeist?
Yeah,
They weren't they smoking pot
in the
Friday
bedroom.
13th too?
Oh yeah. I don't remember it in Friday 13th.
Maybe
Or in
not.
Friday 13th. Yeah. You know, the Freddy vs. Jason was a ridiculous. Remember the Jason Mewes ripoff?
Yeah.
My God, it was like you pretend you're fucking Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, and I was like, this is horrible.
And I remember the part when they're running, actively running away from Freddy and Jason, and he's like, "You want to have a jaybreak? Like, stop to smoke weed." First off, who the fuck says jaybreak? Like, I have literally never heard somebody say, "Let's have a jaybreak." And
You're
two,
not hip
they'd be
enough.
like, "Well, let's wait till we actually escape Freddy and Jason, and then I'll smoke all the weed you want."
Yeah,
It's like, I need to take the edge off these countless
Yeah.
murders I've just
Yeah.
witnessed.
but it's like, man, if you want Jason Mewes in a movie, they should have fucking hired
probably
Jason
could've
Mewes.
just
Probably
hired
wasn't
him,
doing
yeah.
anything.
He's probably a little high on heroin at the time. He probably got hired from cheap.
I don't know what his situation was at that time, but that was just a cold ripoff. I thought
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
fuck
it
that.
totally was.
That movie was just
I liked
awful.
a good
Yeah.
portion of that movie.
Oh no.
But-
oh no.
The cornfield scene was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Just killing all the kids.
My favorite part though was when they play the Nightmare on Elm Street music followed by the Friday the 13th music. It was awesome because that was a nice way to open up.
Yeah, as soon as I saw like the Freddy as that weird caterpillar thing, I just kind of clocked out. I was like, nah.
Oh yeah,
This is
that was
weird.
dumb.
Yeah. Another trope that shows up a lot in horror movies is there's always a lookalike. Like a current character will have a lookalike of a past character. Like it happened
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
A Haunting.
Didn't the Evil Dead remake do that same thing
I think.
or something similar?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It had a lookalike.
That stupid one
Big
where
business.
Chris Kattan says it. No. Where's the one?
House on Haunted Hill.
It wasn't that. What was the other one with
A
the?
haunting.
Yeah, there's a Haunting.
Oh, did you see the haunting already?
Yeah, 'cause
They
didn't
did
it
it.
have Liam Neeson in it?
Yeah, and she's like,
And the
or a scary movie too.
scary
He's
movie
like-
too.
Yeah,
It's
she's
like,
like, that looks like you.
orangutan.
Picture.
Except her face is as greasy.
You got
so
this guy
it's-
Down syndrome eyes.
Yeah, and there was a lot of other tropes that played up. Like you guys mentioned that there was a smart Asian and the black
Isn't
guy
that
who had
smart?
to. Yeah,
He was
well,
like, I need tools, I can fix anything. Yeah.
and that was another thing I was really disappointed about in this movie is that they kind of built up to his character being like
I thought
a real
like, this-
fix-it man, and he was going to start like making traps to combat.
Yeah,
Jason,
yeah.
but-
that was-
I thought the stereotype is they're good at like math and stuff. I've never met like an Asian handyman.
Do you see the guy in the MythBusters? He builds everything.
Look at Mr. Miyagi.
He did fix all his cars.
Yeah,
up.
he fixed everything.
He built that whole like house
Yeah.
in California.
And he sure fixed those guys' wagon.
Yeah.
Their asses.
He fixed their goddamn attitude.
He turned Danielson, made him quit being a pussy.
He made that Halloween costume, the shower.
Yeah. I think
Mr.
Mr.
Miyagi made
Miyagi
that?
is just badass. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I'm done now.
It moves us right along to the Quetzalcoatl.
I got one. I have a better shot of fucking a penguin than getting with that girl.
But you know, if you really try, it wouldn't be hard to.
Yeah,
It
there's.
wouldn't be hard to fuck a penguin. You just gotta grab one.
You'd have to
They are
find
fast.
one. The redneck was yelling at Clay, right?
Mhm.
For scaring him, and he's like, "You're lucky that mummy fart didn't hear you," or something like that. I was like, "Wow, mummy fart's the best."
My favorite quote is when that body got thrown at the cop car and went through the windshield, and that rich kid just went, just let out the best scream ever.
Mine is still suck a fat dick, Chucho.
Mine was, you just about pushed the start button on a whoop-ass machine. That was funny.
I just imagine it's like a rotating gloved hand that just slaps.
Yeah.
It's just a can opening.
It's just an electric can opener. It's really.
Really, it's that.
Yeah. Okay, we want to do the pieces and parts so everyone says their favorite scene.
I like the sleeping bag death.
Oh, that was good.
That was pretty good.
And how horrible would that be, just to be like trapped
That would
and
be awful.
burning?
But
Yeah.
in real life, those nylon sleeping bags would have melted
Yeah,
in
her
2
hair looks
seconds.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
nice.
such like zip.
That would have been a horrible death.
Yeah.
My favorite scene was when he shot that dude with the arrow.
It's pretty bad.
Because that's something that you've seen Jason kill a lot of people in a lot of ways. I've never seen archery as a skill, but I thought that was awesome. And I guess that's probably what I was building up to with when I was talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
His camp skills was just the one archery skill.
It just would have been nice to see him do some rowing on a canoe. That's what I'm saying.
He's all-
He's out there with his shirt off, the sun is glistening.
Yeah.
waving at Kevin Bacon on the dock.
Willa Ford's death was pretty great. So she's under the dock in the water up to her neck.
Mhm.
And he stabs her through the boards and pulls her up. So it's
Like-
like booby shot.
Like all kebab.
Yeah.
I just
that was
imagine
cool.
there's like a scuba diver under her that had to push her up. I think my favorite scene was when the virginal character got killed, just because I was not expecting that.
Yeah. Yeah, because she seemed like essentially the star
Yeah,
of
she
the
didn't
movie.
do anything wrong.
Well, she started out as kind of the girlfriend for the jerk, right?
Yeah.
They went there together, and then they got into a fight, and she left with another dude. So maybe she's a.
But I think she didn't leave with him with any sort of intention other than to help
Did you
him
see
find his
his
sister.
billowy hair?
He did
they
have
were
billowy
going
hair.
to.
Oh,
They
okay.
were.
They were.
If
Yeah.
he hadn't been so busy worrying about his sister.
Yeah.
They were his sister.
She's probably just like, is that all we're going to talk about?
She's fine.
Do you know how my day is?
Yeah.
Well, that is the end of Meet Your Monsters for the week. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me and watching this amazing Friday the 13th remake. Sometime we'll do the original Friday the 13th. And thanks to you at home for listening. If you want to follow along, next week's movie will be...
Bullshit.
It's one we've all seen.
All
Lost Boys.
wings all the time.
The Last
Which one?
Boys?
Lost Boys.
Yay!
Nice.
Boo.
You like the Lost Boys?
I just want to go against the grain.
You're out of the club.
Thanks, that's it.
All right.
Bye.
Are
Bye.
there any dicks in Lost Boys?
I hope so.
I hope
Like
not.
5.
Just you if you come over.
Oh!
Did you know a young boy drowned here? He was my son. And today is his birthday.
This place is called Camp Crystal Lake.